Hi there folks, Scott here, and this week it'll have been 10 years since Street Fighter 4 made its way onto home consoles, so I thought we'd mark the occasion. Why? Well, first of all, it was the first Street Fighter in 11 years. What people sometimes forget is that Street Fighter was one of the first truly huge franchises in gaming. Nowadays everyone's trying to create a franchise or a universe for their games, but back in the early 90s, gaming had a smaller, more niche audience, with only monthly magazines or a rare TV show to get excited about. Despite all that, Street Fighter 2 was absolutely huge due to just how good it was, and its exclusive home version was a massive factor in the success of the Super Nintendo. This meant that, as a name, Street Fighter carried a lot of weight, and let's be honest, 11 years between releases is a long time. Second of all, it brought the 2D fighter back into the mainstream. Obviously, gaming as a pastime grew since the early 90s, but in that time, the 2D fighter fell out of favour slightly with the emergence of 3D fighters like the Tekken or Soul Calibur series. Toshinden, not so much. In any case, the return of a name with the pedigree of Street Fighter shone a new light on the 2D fighter and reminded us just how good they could be. Despite its use of 3D character models, Street Fighter 4 played and felt like the Street Fighter you remembered. Nowadays, there are loads of 2D fighters being regularly played in tournaments, from the rebooted Mortal Kombat to other games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, the Injustice games, even 2-Button Wonder Dive Kick. Without Street Fighter 4's impact proving that 2D fighters still had an audience, the fighting game scene might have looked very different today. Thirdly, it was the first Street Fighter with proper online play. While historically the main joy of Street Fighter has been playing well sitting next to your opponent, calling them all the pricks under the sun, this was the first Street Fighter to come out in an age of reliable internet and services like Xbox Live, which made it easy to play online. I got it on launch day, and within minutes I was getting absolutely steamrolled by a bunch of arseholes who played as Sagat because he was pretty overpowered at launch. He was. Don't lie to yourself. It sounds odd considering I was sitting in my parents' house getting tiger punched to fuck by people who didn't have the decency to pick a better character, but it was cool to be able to play against real people without having to put on a pair of trainers, go round a friend's house and argue over who got the shite controller. Anyway, those are just my thoughts, but what about yours? Leave your favourite Street Fighter moments in the comments below. As always, tell all your pals about this video, and I'll see you next week.